Hello. Today, as you probably guessed, is St. Valentine's Day. The apostrophe should technically come after the S, as there are two Saints Valentine mentioned on this day in the Roman martyrology. I think another 4 or 5 at other points during the year. While most of us have some very clear concept of what St. Valentine's Day means, what isn't so clear is why St. Valentine's Day, and the answer, as you probably know, is that little birds start singing and pairing up about this time of year, apparently back in the Middle Ages or whenever. St. Valentine himself, one of them, I think they were both priests actually, the history is very vague on this. You have to be a little bit careful when we try and look at and get some categorical information about St. Valentine. What is interesting is that the name Valentine is Valentinus. We get the word valour from it, associated with Valentine. And valour, as you can probably understand, is what we would understand to be a virtue. It's a sort of noble sense of courage and seeking to right wrongs, that sort of you have the image of the noble knight when you think of valour. It seems that the days of knights have passed by. Chivalry seems to be dead, as a lot of people say. However, I don't think that's true. And one of the reasons for that is that our little diocese, the Anglican Catholic diocese here in the United Kingdom, actually has an order of knights associated with us. These are the Templar Knights Albion. And before you have any ideas that these are a bunch of strange people, they're not. And indeed, what they have behind them is something very noble indeed. They're a charitable organisation seeking to donate money, to raise money, to donate money to worthwhile causes. But there's more to it than that. As I've said, the image of a knight that you have is that of one of valour. And so not only are these gentlemen just being charitable, they're trying to uphold a code of honour, which is something that doesn't get a lot of good press at the moment, which is a shame, because the code that we are supposed to practice as Christians is very simple. It is code of virtue. As Christians, we are meant to set the example of virtue to the world. And you can read a whole list of virtues. 1 Corinthians 13 brings to mind immediately. There are others in Colossians and Galatians as well. What it means to be virtuous. And this is something that we're largely forgetting today because we don't have the example to set. All our heroes these days are flawed, and if you look at what happens in the media today, they will build someone up and then they will destroy them just as easily by bringing up a past sin. And being virtuous is not about never having sinned, but rather working out one's repentance in the grace of Christ. One is to seek virtue. And that's essentially where our Templar Knights Albion are trying very, very hard to set an example for those around them, just like we Christians must also so do. Certainly the priests and the bishop, we have a duty to set the example, and these dedicated knights are trying to do something very, very similar. Indeed, Bishop Damien, our bishop here in the United Kingdom, is their spiritual protector of this order of knights, which largely means that they turn to him for guidance and for spiritual authority, as we do in our diocese. So what we have, what we're trying to grow in the Anglican Catholic Church, what the Templar Knights Albion are trying to grow, is a sense of virtue. Not an obvious combat with the forces of evil. We're not running out onto the battlefield in armour emblazoned with crosses. No, the warfare that's carried on here is the battle to be charitable, the battle to have true valour. Who would true valour see? Let him come hither. That's what these gentlemen are doing, and from my point of view, it is a great joy for the Church that they are engaged in this challenge, in this quest to seek to become truly virtuous, as we all should, and to uphold a code of honour. And that is something that can easily be missed. There are those who will say very sad and depressing things. They'll say, "Oh, it's silly men playing dress up." They say it of us, of course. But it's not. It's about living the faith. It's about seeing in oneself, putting on the virtue that Christ bids us put on. And that's essentially what the robes mean for them. For the priests in the Catholic Church, robes mean a covering up of the individual in order to put on Christ. I will leave, I hope, some information about the Templar Knights Albion below. It's a simple case of doing a Facebook search. So if you are interested in meeting the challenge that these gentlemen are trying to meet, I'm sure they'll be glad to hear from you. Anyway, God bless you this St. Valentine's Day. May your love for God ever be strengthened and grow warmer. God bless you that you may find the strength to become virtuous and ever closer to God, and God bless you that you may put on Christ more fully. God bless you, and please pray for me.